Forever. Dog.
Hi, it's Jason. As you likely know if you're a listener to this podcast, the theme park world has been hard hit by the coronavirus. Theme park workers have faced nearly a year of layoffs and furloughs. With that in mind, we've included links in the show notes to groups that are helping those who are struggling, including the Orlando Hotel and Hospitality Workers Local 737 fundraiser, as well as the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank and the Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County. Please give if you can. And happy holidays from all of us at Podcast The Ride.
It's a Podcast The Ride very COVID-safe Christmas. Coming to you from apocalyptic facsimiles of Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags Magic Mountain, and Disneyland. With appearances by Mr. Six, Cyborg, a mean topical Ebenezer Scrooge, a man from the candy cane realm, a pound and a half of fudge, a truly ill-synced Zoom sing-along, and due to his breaking of current travel laws, no appearance by Santa Claus. And now, here's your hosts, the regular hosts. Welcome to 2020's final Podcast The Ride, a podcast about theme parks where after this year, we wish we chose a different podcast topic. I'm Scott Gairdner, joined by Jason Sheridan.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
It's just good that we love delving into the past. I like that our hearts are in the 80s and 90s and such so much because, boy, if it was all like new rides opening this year, that's a rough one. Mike Carlson.
Yeah, I'm here. I think that maybe we should have done a podcast about like Jeff Bezos's fortune, maybe. Because this year we would have been so excited to see the fortune grow as people got needed his services more, and he got more money, and people got put out of work, and we would be thriving if that's all we talked about on this show.
I know. What's a good topic for the year? I mean, if it was already a podcast about germ paranoia, this would have been a boon time.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea for a podcast. Germ.
I mean, a podcast about hand washing prior to this year might have been a dull listen. I don't know. There might be one, and it might have been great for many years until now. But I think 2020 is when the wash boys really peak.
The wash boys would have been the biggest year in wash boys history for sure. I think probably next year people are going to be sick of the wash boys, honestly.
Yeah. And they're going to they're trying to branch out. They're talking about like video games and Marvel movies and other,
really
but
well.
you can hear about those things anywhere. So
they try to they're talking about Star Wars and stuff, but they have to tie it into hand washing and do you think DJ in Last Jedi washed his hands? Do you think Holdo, did she just come back from the bathroom and she washed her hands? But it doesn't really work. It's not really what the show was about.
And I guess you have to ask at this point, just with all this news, has Disney washed their hands of Rian Johnson's announced trilogy? Seems like maybe they have just scrubbed the whole thing.
Was it mixed in with the 50 other announcements they strung out over 4 hours?
That's what people think they didn't announce it, but it was in there. Just everyone blacked out. Everyone took a nap at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Wash boys. I'm glad we're not doing it, but it would have been smart. It would have been at least smart to do an offshoot.
Yeah.
Made a spin-off immediately.
Let's hedge our bets from now on and just pick 5 random things to do podcasts about and see if they come into fruition down the road. As of now, we're doing a podcast about theme parks, and this is the last one of the year on the main feed. There are some treats waiting for you next week on Podcast The Ride, The Second Gate at patreon.com/Podcast The Ride, but we're winding it down here for the year. The sort of corny, earnest thing I want to say at the top is just a big thanks to the audience of this show for sticking with us. You know what I liked was doing a show where we got to like go see the audience and they got to come see us, and how much I liked that we're starting to tour. And last year we got to end the year doing this like cozy little show in a little black box theater that felt like such a nice way to like hang with everybody and talk to everyone after. And now that same event would be like a highly illegal super spreader, and I wish this wasn't the case. But the audience, nonetheless, in this virtual setting, I just like thank everyone for sticking with us, even in this weird way of doing the show. And we're so glad we didn't have to stop doing the show.
I think about this often. That I did have a few times maybe in March and April where I went, oh, everyone's just gonna stop listening, right? It's more important things to do right now than listen to us you make jokes about Admiral Holdo. But I really very much appreciate everyone sticking with us and having fun, and I wish we could be together.
Once every podcast I listened to was doing the same thing and encountering the same like obstacles and, overcoming the same challenges we were, I was like, oh, okay, this is all right.
Thank God.
We're dealing with it.
It would be funny if like Doughboys was like, no, we're doing it in person still forever. Like, we defy the governor. We're gonna shoot droplets into each other's mouths for these 10 months.
They did it in the hospital. They got it at the same time and had to do it they had to edit out ventilator hits.
Right.
And it annoyed the other patients, but the Doughboys maintained even in the ICU.
Of course. So yes, yes, God bless all of you. If you don't believe in God, I'm using that in a way where I mean like, just a general like, nice God version. I'm not saying anything in a specific religious way.
Nice
I'm spiritual.
Praise the nice, thank the nice feeling you have for sticking with us.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it's just been such a like sanity life raft and such a difficult. Yeah, and how many people have had to drop the thing that they do, and it's been great getting to do the thing that we do, and thanks to you guys too. It's just been I look forward to these a lot, even more than before.
Yes, it's I think maybe you said it, Scott. I forget if it's like it's like we have to be forced to be like having fun. It's a forced 2 hours of fun.
It's on the schedule. We set up a link, and you click the link. There's a link to have fun. So get on it and do it.
Well, that's good. So yes, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Nice to have the reason. And there's and to our audience, there's one more thing that we need to address, and that is this: if you can remember the first podcast, The Ride of 2020, and that's a big if, because who can remember what life was in January 2020? But something that was said, I think, at the top of the very first show was a sort of pimped thing from me to you, Mike, especially, was that 2020 will be the year that we do the Country Bear Jamboree. Now, my feeling is, and I think we started feeling as the year ticked on, why would we take this attraction that we love so much and curse it and force this attraction to like exist under the shadowy specter of the worst year ever? And that's why we have decided to remove. We're calling an audible. 2020 does not count. When I said we'll cover it this year, I meant like the regular year that was supposed to happen, not this year, the one that did. And I guess with that, Mike, I turn it to you for anything that you would like to say about our future handling of the Country Bear Jamboree.
And if I get emotional at any point during this, please just forgive me. I think I'll be able to hold it together, though. Mm-hmm. But first of all, I do think there. We said initially, Scott, you sprung it on me. I can't help but feel maybe it was a bit of a curse, to sideswipe me with that, blindside me with that, because it's such a big, important topic, and I was reeling. So I feel like maybe the universe got kind of knocked out of whack. But I shouldn't put that on you. That's not fair. But
I think it's perfectly fair, and it's all my fault. But
Okay.
but moving on.
moving forward. I will say this. I have a vision for the Country Bear episode of Podcast The Ride, and it just cannot work in Zoom. Okay? It's just, I thought about it. I thought, is there a way we can do it? And there is, but it's like, I know it's going to lack the in-person energy. So we thought about doing, we could just do the movie, but that feels like we're just going to give you like a half-assed version just to placate everyone. And it's like, well, we'll get to the movie, but we should probably do main show first. And I also thought about like Christmas show, summer show. Should we just do that instead and then do the main one later? But no, we should start with the main one. We should do it. And the good news, I think, and hopefully vaccine permitting, the first in-person recording that we do will be the Country Bears. So I apologize for not getting it done this year, but the first one we do where we get to look into each other's eyes inside of a place will be the Country Bears. And I will say, the thing I will add just as a little bit of a tease is I want to have a real jamboree. And my co-hosts don't quite know what I'm talking about, and I 75% know what I'm talking about, but I'm still working on some logistics of it. But I want to have a jamboree for real. So whatever that means to you, imagine it, and just know that a good jamboree is coming on the Country Bear Jamboree episode. So I apologize.
What I like about this is you are allowing yourself wiggle room, something I think we are good at when we say we'll do something, because it's like the first in-person episode back could be any number of upcoming months based on constantly changing factors.
Sure, depending on how ambitious we get, on how further worse our state gets, the one we record the podcast in. There's a lot going on here.
Yes.
State of California, individual mental psychological states, So I'm glad this is malleable, and I'm also glad there's not a firm deadline, because sometimes stuff is said on this show and I do not remember it. When we sometimes handle logistical stuff before or right after recording, I usually have a legal pad in my hand or a pocket notebook, because like if I don't see it directly in front of me, I will just totally space based on the conversation.
Right. Well, then let's. Okay. That being said, Jason, we turn to you. We assume that you have prepared your rendition of "Oh Holy Night" to close out the Christmas season, and go ahead and go.
Fall.
Oh, you did. You did prepare it. Okay. Didn't need the legal pad.
The church my family used to go to growing up, there was an older guy who every Christmas Eve would like just belt "Oh Holy Night" and would just kill it. And and it's hard to find a rendition of like a baritone or a bass singer like really belting that song. So
that's why we gave it to you.
Maybe.
You're a deep baritone.
Oh, sure. Yep.
All right. Well, that's pretty big news. That's big news there. Wait, now, just as a clue, and this completely tells you why we can't do it over Zoom. The dictionary definition of jamboree is a large celebration or party, typically a lavish and boisterous one.
Well,
so that's a clue.
That's what I'm thinking. I do think, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we would need to have more than the three of us. So maybe logistically we have to figure out, who got Pfizer, who got Moderna, when did they get it? Like, there will be some of that logistic, because I think it will just be more than the three of us. But I do think that's accurate. Maybe big is relative, Big for us might be having two guests on, because usually it's just one guest.
Well, I don't know that many members of the Wrecking Crew are still kicking around, are they?
Well, not the Wrecking Crew you know about.
Okay.
I got a different Wrecking Crew, brother.
Are they all bears?
They're all bears. It's the 3. Okay, I'll reveal it now. I'm releasing 3 live bears into the apartment when we record while the Country Bears episode is going on. And we have to sort of just navigate that.
Avoid them while we're not going to be like singing or anything. The theme of we're just going to be like, and then in 1978, oh God, then they added the Christmas, oh shit.
Yes, it's dodging bears, no singing.
Yeah. A very creepy array of like Hitchcock-esque birds just went by as you were describing bear attacks. So forgive me for getting distracted. I don't like to say the stuff that's happening outside the house, but in that case, straight from bear attack into really creepy bird sounds. And then there's some real ominous stuff going on as we make these plans.
You're tempting the universe, like we're tempting the universe again, I think, by saying by
again. Oh my God. Are we by even discussing the Country Bears plan? Is the state of the world riding on how we cover the Country Bear Jamboree?
We're gonna have a Country Bear on the books, and then there's gonna be like there's a new virus, and it's like shuts everything down again, and then somebody like some mad scientist is gonna have to run up to us and be like, "It's you're doing this. You can't do this, Country Bears, on your podcast." And then we have
I've been listening to every podcast for clues. It's taken me hours and hours and days and weeks and years. I haven't slept. Except when the podcast put me to sleep, which happens very often.
Yes, it's too long. You go on for too long.
Hours and hours. Come now.
Yeah.
Well, very exciting. Jamborees to come. Jamborees, you'd have to say, are among the things not allowed right now. Jamborees have been banned by local and state officials. Mm-hmm. What a year of no jamborees.
Very sad, yeah.
Why would we have the Country Bear Jamboree in a year of no jamborees? We will not.
Nope.
So when things are safe, that will be the sign. That will be the flags triumphantly re-raising, and that's when you, the listener, will know that the world is healed and that we were the virus.
When Mayor Eric Garcetti puts on his overalls and pulls out his jug and blows on it 3 times, then we know jamborees are safe.
Well, then we know he will establish a commission to examine
jug music.
The jug music, the viability, the surveying, jamborees.
Task force devoted to pushing the ball forward on jug blowing initiatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to get that job in Biden's cabinet examining jug blowing techniques, but Mayor Pete got it.
Mayor Pete is the jug blowing secretary.
Secretary of jug blowing.
and he's oddly amazing at it.
He's very talented. The guy, he plays piano, he speaks languages, he plays a mean jug. Makes sense to me.
That's the thing.
Whatever the upload scientists jack into the port in the back of his skull, he's a
whatever Morpheus uploads into the computer.
Whatever, $6 million man.
Initiate jug playing protocol.
That also, if we're doing like a year in review, I think it really like dates everything. That there was a point in this calendar year where the politician we were the most mad at was Pete Buttigieg. Boy, if only we knew what was to come.
I don't remember that. And if I do, it's like a dream 10 years ago I had. It's crazy. The whole thing is madness. Sometimes when I sit and reflect on just everything, you go, oh, I see how you would I see how the Joker would become the Joker. You kind of see how a person could lose their mind.
Sure.
And I haven't been through nearly as much as the Joker this year. So you can imagine if I'm like, oh, I can feel that thread if you pull on it a little more.
It's important to remember. I mean, everybody's had their problems and their stresses, but no one has had it as bad as the Joker.
Arthur Fleck.
Arthur Fleck.
Is that right? That's his name.
That's what we were most scared of in fall 2019.
That's right.
The dreaded Joker.
That was the scariest thing we had to deal with. It was the Joker was going to create many Jokers, multiple Jokers.
But then the virus came dancing down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Rock and Roll Part 19.
In my mind, it like looks like Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park dancing, but it's like he's obviously mean. It's like Mr. DNA, but he's mean.
Big old smile, big old tap shoes.
Yeah. So yeah, year in review. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
If I had to say,
Weird.
the year in theme parks. Well, I guess I'd have to start with weird.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, wild stuff.
Weird, wild stuff. Yeah.
And, with some of the things we're going to be talking about today, I don't want to go jumping to our final observations, but I would have to say, based on our recent theme park experiences, I don't know, for me with theme parks, I got to say, it's all about the rides. Call me crazy, but I do like rides. Food as well. Not having a constant sense of fear and paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite things about the theme park experience.
Yeah. I have to concur.
We did
again.
get some food.
Yeah, no, food was part of it. Let's say officially what we're doing here. We're going to be discussing and reviewing the recent slate of Southern California COVID-safe theme park experiences. This is a lineup that has changed greatly in the last 2 weeks. Like when
The last 2 hours,
That's true.
there was a further development.
might have changed again. But yeah, there probably was there. Are you going to spring something on
yeah.
us? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it in one of the parks? I guess we wait on that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh
It's
my.
in the second thing.
Oh my
but
God.
but I feel like there's a happy end. It's one of these parks I will give a lot of credit to for rolling with the punches. For a while, for months now, they have been managing, I think, very well.
Absolutely. And and there will be a happy ending to this episode entirely. This I will promise. Put a pause button on that. You'll hear it later. But for now, I mean, look, a lot of fun was had. We went and covered a lot of ground between the three of us. I did all three of the things on this roster, and I wasn't sure that I was going to do all of them. But last night I completed the trilogy. And the completion of the trilogy being the Disneyland holiday experience. I went to downtown Disney and to what remains of Buena Vista Street. If you aren't in California, you haven't been following it closely, here's the deal. Downtown Disney's been open for a little while. I hadn't been. I don't think any of us have been. Last night, well, yeah, I mean, I went and did it, but a couple weeks ago, they finally, and I was very excited that they finally opened up a little bit of California Adventure. Finally, you were able to go onto theme park property proper, and that lasted for 2 weeks. How long did it go before
Something like that,
California got way, way, way more strict? Because it's been insane here, and forget, like. All the stuff's good, it is ICU shortage and all that stuff that we're dealing with again. So I guess it had to be done, but they didn't close it entirely. If you don't know, it was opened briefly, and there were restaurants open. There were a couple of restaurants you could go to. The one we've all been clamoring to go to, Smoke Jumper's Grill. Get me those hamburgers again.
Chicken sandwich, I guess. Iceberg lettuce at the counter, right? Where you take pieces of iceberg lettuce and manually put them on. Is that right, Jason?
Toppings bar, yes.
Toppings,
yes.
they have a full.
I don't know that they came back with a full toppings bar. Seems like not the best plan.
Fuddruckers closed
But,
out here, so now I guess I am craving a toppings bar.
Sure.
So
I know, it's the little thing.
yeah. Anyway, smoke jumpers. We all
Smoke jumpers.
miss
We
it.
want that toppings bar. Oh, I, of course, I was excited because they were going to reopen my beloved Carthay Circle Lounge, albeit in an outdoor setting. And it was certainly my hope that after this crazy year that I could close the episode and say, but after all that, I got to enjoy a Carthay Manhattan, and it was like none of it happened. And I had the reservation, and then everything shut down 3 days before.
Yeah.
All set to do it.
2020.
Yep, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. It was, the writing was on the wall. It was like, because in California it's been all these like, okay, if we tip into the purple zone, then you'll know. And then like by the time that sentence is finishing being said by the governor or whatever, we are in the purple zone.
Right.
We added colors before the press conference was over. So it all went away. The thing did not shut down though. It is basically just open as like a minimal shopping mall, which is what it felt like, basically. It kind of was like the Grove or the Americana, albeit with less to do. It was all very strange, I would say. And just to say, obviously, messed up, hand washing, sanitizing, all this. You know, it was very safe. I felt safe. If you guys wanted to do it, I would say it makes sense to do it. Especially, you know, with eliminating. You know, I didn't see anything alarming going on. Not too many people. Sort of a ghost town. Probably due to the fact that there's like nothing to do there. I mean, it's basically taking a walk. Instead of taking a walk in my neighborhood, I took a walk there. A very surreal experience for more reasons than one. I'm driving into Disneyland, just having not done that drive since March. I'm driving in just like, I'm a different person than the last time I was here. Like, besides enduring all of this stuff, the last time I was driving onto this property, I was changing out of an orange spacesuit because of a pop-up show we did in a closing electronics store. and now I'm coming in as a father who doesn't go anywhere or do anything. I'm driving into a theme park that is darkened. I don't know if you guys know this. I was curious what it was going to be when I drove in. The black spires are extra black. They're not lit up. Mickey's Fun Wheel is not fun. It is dark. There is nothing lit anywhere. It's like this odd, you know, many levels deep of flag half-mast. Just very strange to drive up to.
That seems scary. The thing we're about to talk about, well, in a little bit we'll talk about it. I had a similar vibe going on for part of it, and I got a chill ran up my spine. Anytime you see a large area like that with large structures and it's just completely black darkness, I find that's very eerie because I think you immediately kind of go to, this is the apocalypse. This is what the apocalypse looks like.
I mean, so much. I've had a number of things this year where I despite being at the thing and constantly thinking, boy, this is apocalyptic, I'm still like, close enough. Yeah. Sort of close to fun. That's kind of what all this was. I think everything we're going to talk about. So, very surreal. You go in, and if you don't know what they did, it's basically like you can walk into California Adventure through the Buena Vista Street area, and there's shops, and they minimize the people who can go into the shops. You can go look at the Carthay Circle building and marquee. You can walk not very close up to Smoke Jumper's Grill and the ride Soarin' that I miss very much. And you can walk much deeper into the Hollywood backlot area of California Adventure, which is, of course, the ugliest area of California Adventure.
Can you see Guardian's Tower or no? Probably not, right?
They do light it. They light it, and it's so exciting. It's so nice to see. Yes, that did my heart well. See, just looking at Carthay Circle was really nice. I know the bar is so low, but seriously, just seeing all these things still was heartwarming.
Let's talk real quick bad boy stuff. How far could you get before security tackled you into California Adventure? Could you make it to the front of Tannelier Tavan's house?
Let's see. I think if you had advanced knowledge of like backstage areas and you could duck and weave, I think if you dressed in dark clothing, and especially dark clothing that might blend into your surroundings, like if you pick a pattern that is kind of the level of tan of a California Adventure wall, you might be able, because it's not the most staffed.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure you get sniped. You still probably get sniped. I think you maybe you could get like 10 feet closer than you imagined, and then you would be shot in the legs.
You think they have a shoot on sight edict? Perhaps in these times.
You can't mess around with it. Yeah, things are scary.
I'm always, because we're good boys, but I always have like bad boy instincts sometimes. So that it does interest me to go like, well, what are they really doing? Could I make it inside and do one ride on Guardians before security got me?
I think
I'd
you
have
would
to know how to
to
operate, I guess.
to start it,
Yeah,
or I was going to
activate
say like climb up the elevator shaft yourself like a gym rope.
Oh, do a manual drop. I'll have I Want You Back on my phone in headphones, and I just slide up and down the cord that holds the elevator, or holds that little box.
Yeah, you're up.
High dive
Okay.
into the bay. High dive, launch yourself like a Jason Bourne or an Ethan Hunt type escaping a building into a body of water into the world of color bay.
If you're listening, don't try this, but have fun fantasizing about breaking Disney rules and jumping into a ride. Running.
Just go up to it,
police.
look at it, stroke your chin, like what if, and then walk away. Yeah. So you can't get that close to it. You can. There's a new marquee of PhilharMagic. That it's like a neon sign. That's nice. But then so much of what is open are just like those areas that are like scaffolding in the backs of buildings and pipes. A lot of it is, but if you miss all of the Hollywood pipes, you can go see them, and it just costs $10 to park.
It does.
I do.
That was my question.
Still does. Yeah.
If you do, when they first,
Hollywood Pipes is a different rock and roll band though too that Johnny Depp is in.
Oh yes,
those are for the people who belt it out. Yeah. Like that Oh Holy Night singer. He's
right.
Well, when they first announced this was happening, in the first couple days of it, it seemed like chaos because there was like multi-hour lines, every step of that lines to get into the Esplanade from either side, lines to get into downtown Disney, lines to get into Buena Vista Street, lines to get into the shops and the Carthay list. And then eventually they started doing reservations for Carthay. But I read like a piece, I think it was from a San Francisco Chronicle reporter who seemed like a regular, who seemed like they had covered the parks before and knew the lingo, like knew the stuff to expect. And they stayed for a few hours and like just tapped out. They're like, I can't do this. And so that was my point of like, okay, I'm not rushing down, but maybe if I let it go for a couple weeks, maybe go on a weekday, go real early, real late. Scott, you opted for real late. Of course, now very heavily scaled back from the original presentation.
Extremely. It truly is. Do you want to go take a walk near some stuff that made you happy before? Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't know. I am like seeing the gates and like at least looking at the train station or whatever. Seeing the shuttered Uva bar. Like there's all of the bottles.
Man, I didn't even think about that.
There's like a little door shutting them off. Scott's nightmare. I will be having nightmares about all this for weeks.
You should have had a video of you just on your knees outside the Uva bar screaming in pain that it was closed. I mean, I've never seen it closed. Maybe very early, but it's always open. It's always got people there. It's such a hive of activity.
Yeah, that's a jamboree, a constant jamboree at the Uva
jamboree.
Bar.
Yeah,
it was upsetting. Yeah. No, I'm gonna go camp out there with a Recall Newsom sign. That was the last straw for me. Everything else has been fine, but not my
fine
Uva.
because it's outdoors.
On the bright side,
Uva Bar.
Yeah. But you got all your Christmas shopping done at Sugar Boo & Co. Hey, how about that? You got your signs. You got your sign that just says Imagine.
Tarps.
Did you get your Tom Petty sign that says I'm free fallen? And it's a big piece of wood and it was $150.
Yeah, definitely, and all of the rest of the lyrics of the song are all like embedded in his hair. If you look close, it's all the different strands.
Right.
It's a really moving piece. I did do a little Christmas shopping at a thing called the Backlot Premiere Shop. They converted a sound stage. They've used it for like, here's a seasonal Frozen experience. And, just various odds and ends have happened. It is just like a big empty sound stage in the Hollywood area. And this is, I want to say, the most depressing thing I've ever seen on Disney property. This was like Disney doing a Spirit Halloween store. Like truly in every way, because that's not what's supposed to be in there. There's walls like Spirit telling you, like they're trying to trick you into thinking there's not more building, but you can see that there is. And just kind of like words projected and monitors and, very Meghan Trainery music blasting to convince you that it's fun. I still bought a couple ornaments. And yet, with all that weirdness, it was pretty cool because this building is where they hosted the attraction Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Play It. And if you haven't seen this on Twitter, as you're exiting, you exit past the big orange words, Play It. Really strange. And again, there's just where my bar is, where like, yeah, wow, I saw the Play It sign. I think I told Erin all this. How was it? I saw the Play It sign, and she blinked so loud that it made a little dink. It made a cartoon dink.
Like Looney Tunes, yeah.
Wow, the Play It sign. I mean, I am a little jealous that you got to see the Play It sign because it's still there. It's a remnant of the past. I think what's exciting to me about it is if there was a Superstar Limo sign hidden somewhere, I would make a point to go see it once in a while.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Knowing there was this odd secret,
right?
Insiders only. And it was cool. Also, going into this building is like you enter not through the park, but through the outside of the park, and you walk through like an employee parking lot. You have to wind through parking spaces that say gold sticker only. And then you go past a chain link fence that has a step and repeat plastered onto it, and you're looking up and like there's like a not lit sign for the Leslie Jones supermarket sweep and some like Ryan Reynolds thing. And the chain link fence is covering up like a giant vent, like some air conditioning unit. I can't believe how not Disney this was. And as we talk about some of these other things, I'm curious your guys' feelings, but I think of the three things we're going to talk about, I think Disney loses. I think by holding out and not preparing for this and thinking we should do some kind of semi-open situation, I think they ended up with the most bummer event of the three.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yeah, I think the giant bureaucracy that is the Walt Disney Company, I mean, slightly less giant with their kind of gruesome layoffs, but I think there's still a lot of levels of approval to go through that some of these other parks do not have to go through, and that really hampered their... Like, I think they were all in on, like, we're going to open in July. Like, when everybody... I was still, like, horrified by that prospect. But
that was Jason Sheridan's prediction when Disneyland would open, was July 4th.
That was my first projection. And then they stuck on that for a while. Like, people have been looking in like the gates of Disneyland and Universal for some time and going like, oh, I see the distance markers, I see the hand sanitizers. So, I mean, at a certain point, you just have to, you bought those things and you want to put them in anyway. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they even... The unrelated, only kind of related, they were supposed to open the villas at the Grand Californian because of, I don't know, timeshare law or regulations. So there was a chance that downtown Disney would be open, Buena Vista Street would be open, and a chunk of the hotel would be open for DVC members.
Because of timeshare law?
Well, there's a certain thing because those are people technically own
right.
those residents. Those are shared partnership.
Timeshare law, though, is it like a martial law? Is it like maritime law? Anything goes in a timeshare?
Do anything you want in a timeshare.
Knowing how timeshares works, probably closer to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's bird law. The episode where Charlie convinces himself he's a expert in bird law concerns.
Okay.
So yeah, but they scrapped that too because I think the writing was on the wall that recreational hotels still, many of them still open for emergency purposes. But for like casual jaunts, not really an option.
There were just some windows lit up in the Disneyland hotel, which was so unnerving. Like imagining being up there, how creepy it would be. Like if you were the only person staying in the Disneyland hotel.
I am. It's sounding much actually more depressing than I thought it would sound, especially with the park being dark and everything. But now it actually makes me a little bit more intrigued to go down there because I missed out on haunts this year, and there's nothing scarier than like a rundown, desolate Disneyland. That's the biggest nightmare of all. The happiest place on earth is gone. It's shuttered. And I guess you would get a piece of that. I would get that true fear.
Sitting on a bench on the side of the long closed Rainforest Cafe, which is pretty dimly lit over there, and there was nobody. Again, you're gonna go and like not bump into people. It is really, especially at night. If you're looking for a thing where you'll be plenty distant. So just like sitting and staring at the non-branded, non-functional Rainforest Cafe. Yeah, that was my haunt for the year.
I'll put on like a Phantom of the Opera mask that also covers my nose and mouth and a cloak, and I'll go in the dead of night and I'll try to pick up a sandwich from Earl of Sandwich. Is that open?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
okay, good. I'll pick to go. I'll mobile order it, and then I'll pull my cape over my face and just like the night I'll be gone. Yes. I'll get to dress up like it's Halloween, and I'll get to see all the spookiness.
You could get Ralph Brennan gumbo to go and eat it in the car. You could drive home with gumbo. This is something you can do.
Okay. That's from the Express, the Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen Express, which is right? Or is it the restaurant proper? Is anything of that open?
No, that's the Express. The to-go window's open. I think you can only get beignets and gumbo. Or almost nothing else.
There was a po' boy.
Nothing wrong with that.
We had a wonderful time at Ralph Brennan's actual restaurant, and I have tried the Express a couple times, and the beignets are good, but like I had a po' boy, and it was dog shit. It was horrible. It was like too much bread, and the bread was bad, and the breaded shrimp was bad.
You know, recalling the Downtown Disney ordeal as I walked through a largely empty Downtown Disney, it was like, this is kind of the world that we imagined, that we forced onto ourselves during the Downtown Disney ordeal.
Oh, yeah.
Where this fun experience is close, but you can't go on them or participate in them. And in this case, they are literally off limits, and they are darkened. It's like they've been taken off a map. It's a video game level that hasn't been unlocked.
It's you were in the underworld.
You were in the underworld.
Oh my God. Even the upper world became the underworld. It's all the underworld now.
And none of us have visited the City Walk underworld, right? No one's been up to City Walk since that went takeaway only.
Well, I don't think there actually is technically
new stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there technically is an underworld because we didn't put that in the mythology.
There is, that's right. There is no City Walk underworld, as far as we know.
As far as we know,
we could always. You never know what the keeper's going to spring.
You never know,
right? So, gosh, okay.
Very strange. We can wind it down. I just, the whole thing felt like I don't mean to convey, like, truly, like, getting to see these things that I liked again was very nice, and I kept it quick and I kept it safe. But the whole thing, I was thinking of it as like, it's like seeing a relative in the hospital. And you're pretty sure they're gonna pull through. You're a fighter. You're gonna be okay. I feel good. I'm just glad to know that you're still alive and kicking. That's is the feeling right now of going to Disneyland.
Well, wow. I think as soon as everybody just put their podcast on pause and hopped in the car.
Oh, you gotta get there. You gotta do it. On a more uplifting note, on the way home, as I showed you guys, I for the first time ran through the Portillo's drive-thru in the greatest city on earth, Buena Park,
California.
And,
what was the order?
I didn't do a cake shake because I didn't think I could handle it.
I've never actually done it.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, I thought I was missing out on a big thing. I might have been. I got a vanilla shake, and they were pretty insistent on, like, you got to put some peppermint in there, and it is the holidays, and I did. So that was like they just crumbled up a candy cane, and you're just getting pieces of candy cane as you're eating your milkshake. It's a real tooth rotter. That's for sure. I liked it a lot, but I had to bail for the sake of my teeth. But a nice drive back.
My only complaint with Portillo's is because, I mean, I think you were dying, that you could go into dine, but they really should put some of the great photos that are inside of Portillo's outside for this period, like the Jim Belushi with Dick Portillo, the founder of Portillo's, should be outside and it should be blown up. Dick Portillo with Carmen Electra should be outside. The other photo of Dick Portillo and Jim Belushi that's inside should be outside. Multiple pictures of the founder of Portillo's with Jim Belushi. And they're in every Portillo's. He's had copies of these photos made, and they are in every Portillo's, at least I've been in. They are there.
Believe it. I did it. I've lived quite a life. I've met Jim Belushi twice. That's right. I can have hot dogs whenever I want.
Mm-hmm. Dick Portillo.
It's December, which means it's time for Christmas movies. But what if you go to Netflix and discover your favorite Christmas movie isn't available? Why, you can use ExpressVPN to watch any Netflix library in the world. This weekend, I used ExpressVPN to stream a Christmas classic, Gremlins, on French Netflix. It was so simple. I just opened the app, hit one button to change my location, refreshed Netflix, and that's it. ExpressVPN lets you control where you want sites to think you're located. You can choose from almost 100 countries, so just imagine all the Netflix libraries you can explore. And it's not just Netflix either. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service, Disney+, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason I use ExpressVPN to watch movies and shows is because it's ridiculously fast, there's never any buffering, and you can always stream in HD. ExpressVPN works with all your devices too, including phones, tablets, media consoles, and smart TVs, so you can use it to watch whatever you want on the go or on the big screen. Visit our special link right now, expressvpn.com/ride, and you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Support the show, watch what you want, and get your holiday fix at expressvpn.com/ride.
That's the Disney experience. Let's keep heading elsewhere into Orange County. Is that correct?
Yeah, still in Buena Park.
Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah. Well, just stop, skip, and a jump away. Yeah. Jason and I both did Knott's Taste of Mary Farm. They're, odd by framing it as a food tasting event, which it is, and it is a good one of those. They've let the park be open for eating and drinking.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, so this was the one I was alluding to. There has been developments like hours before we started recording. So, the Taste of Mary Farm was the second or third tasting event that Knott's had done. Basically, they open up the whole park, and there's different food stations. You don't really pay for entry; you pay for a tasting card, and it was $40. And you got 5 items to choose from, and like Scott said, we had a great time. I felt very safe. This was kind of my first experience of eating outside, and I had a feeling that turned out correct, which is like, oh, the whole park's going to be open, and it's pretty large. You forget how big Knott's is because you don't think it's a huge footprint, but it is large. So very easy to get a table away from people and then like take your mask off, eat, put it back on,
absolutely,
and then head to the next thing. So Taste of Mary Farm was tabled with the current stay-at-home rules, and they were going to start selling tickets again a few weeks out, December 27th to January 3rd. But just a couple hours ago, when we record this, they just pulled the plug and canceled it. That said, they are doing a number of dates for what they're calling the Christmas Crafts Village, which is a lot of the outdoor vendors, woodworkers, and jewelry makers. And basically, you can go into the park and get some Christmas gifts and support some local artists and stuff. And Knott, I think, has been one of the more resilient SoCal parks. I went down and got that chicken back in the summer. The marketplace is doing takeout still, and the shop is open. So there's still some stuff to do at Knott's, and it was great. Jane and I had a great time when we went down.
We loved it. Had a great time. Also notable for me, this was Aaron and I's first date since having a baby. This is the first time.
That's so wild.
Yeah, and by that point, like 7 months in or something. In another world, certainly would have happened multiple times by that, but it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Like, even if you got out, like, where would you go? So this was, thank God for theme parks, because Aaron also joined me on the last thing we're going to talk about. They've like some of the only things that we've done, and this one was the most satisfying. Food, great. We had stuff we really enjoyed. I guess it's weird now to be like hyping an event that you, the listener, can't go to. Sorry. But I had a nice time. It's a photo album now. If there is this craft village thing happening, let me shout out Calico Carver. I've had my eye on a wooden sign for a long time, the wood signs that they make at Knott's, and we got one. It says the Gairdners, and I have never felt more like we're a family than putting that sign up. I said I would post it on Instagram, and I haven't done that. I said that to the gentleman, but I'll do one better and say I'll say it on a podcast. Check out Calico Carver, and if you go to that thing, buy a sign. They're fantastic. It's great quality, and it's got a bear, and it's so cozy. Now I feel like we live in a Lake Arrowhead cabin. It's great.
Or in a Country Bear theater.
Yes. Oh,
there you go.
Absolutely. It is a little slice of that shiny theme park wood. It's really nice to we like our I want to say fake wood. It's not fake wood. It's definitely real wood. I use fake as a compliment. It feels like fake wood in the best way. Like you're in a cartoon.
Is there a real wood Final Four that we could do? Is there enough real wood? There has to be, right?
There's plenty of wood. Many structures and theme parks are made from wood. Yes.
We like wood.
Love wood.
We love wood. Big wood fans. So maybe we'll talk about this.
I was by a wooden structure at Knott's. I'll set this up a little because it touches on something we were talking about recently, which was the carnival episode. We played a game when we were down there because they had some of the games running too. And in Carney lingo, this game is called a hanky pank, which means everyone who plays wins a prize. And it was very funny because they were very upfront. This was classic carnival game. It's a bunch of rubber duckies going around in a row, and you kind of have to pick two that match. But they were like, okay, just play until you win. And it costs $5 if you want one of those, $10 if you want one of those, or $15 if you want one of those. So basically, it's like, what stuffed animal do you want to buy and have a little fun to get? So we played, immediately got a pairing, and got this lovely Snoopy.
Wow.
Is a little minimalist Snoopy.
It's sort of like Japan style a little bit. That's great.
Yeah, and I immediately was holding him, and I was like, I love him. I remembered as a kid I had a giant stuffed Snoopy, and I forget which relative gave it to us, but my parents for years were like, please, it's mildewing, it's falling apart, let's get rid of it. And eventually I acquiesced.
And they made you take it out back and dismember it to put it in the garage.
Yeah,
it doesn't
dismember
fit
it
into the trash. You have to take it apart, Jason. This is a learning experience for you. Your old Yeller moment.
Shoot it with
my
a fluff
old Yeller
gun.
moment.
Fluffy
Scott,
bullets.
I'm sorry. I do have to tell you this very cute minimalist Snoopy. The tag, the official name of this line is I'm so sorry. It's called Squishmallows. so soft, cuddle and squeeze me. And I feel like I knew, I had to read. I just had to. I know that probably sent chills up your spine.
Could that be worse than Toofy Spooter? For it as
Squishmallows?
As a name for
Toof me, spood me.
He's just so cute. And hey, look, you're talking about wood. Let's say Knott's, they, of all the parks, they remember the reason for the season because I got my picture with this giant
wow.
Yeah, big nativity. And
big nativity.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I can see, whoa, let me squint. I can see the ghost of Walter Knott. And
that's right.
He's to the side of the nativity, and he's just smiling and nodding. Wow. And he's got a MAGA hat on.
Yes.
And he's saying, stop the steal.
Stop the steal. And, with the marketplace open and the craft fair, it turns out he was right. Free enterprise survived. And of course, a nativity scene set up under a massive roller coaster.
Yeah, the flip side, what you're looking at in the photo is, bright orange roller coaster. It's so insane that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of forgot. And there's a bunch of missions around. What a weird part.
Oh, the missions are very cute.
They should add that to the log ride during Christmas time. Like instead of that alien and band with the bear on the Timber Mountain log ride, they should just put a nativity at the end.
There's Christmas overlays, but nowhere has done a nativity overlay. It came up earlier in this episode, but if you could time out the music to where when you did the drop, you heard the part of "Oh Holy Night," fall on your knees,
and here. Let's see what else.
What if the bear? Wait, hold on. And then as you go by the bear, he goes, "Oh Holy Night." Not Happy Halloween.
Christ the Savior is born.
The actors, there was a lot of actors.
Yeah,
the actors were really good, and there were some characters. Santa Snoopy was a real highlight.
Oh yeah,
picture.
Distant photo. Yes,
Snoopy.
well in front of. Oh, that's great. Up on the second floor of a saloon or something was an Ebenezer Scrooge, who was one of the funniest people I have seen in a theme park. He was so funny, just like pointing and making fun of people below. People below are trying to like get the upper hand on him. Like somebody's making fun of him and says, "Hello, governor." And then he looks down and says, "So I'm the governor now? Wonderful, more power for me." And then like what was the thing? Oh, he pointed at a baby and said, "Why isn't he working? They should be working in one of my mines. They should be getting gold for me."
Was he playing Walter Knott?
We also didn't know they were doing a Christmas Carol overlay, and only the first thing we saw was just this old man screaming at everyone from the rafters. And I was like, oh, this ghost town actors, they have a lot of fun. But apparently there was even more stuff like around.
I think Eva Anderson went to this at some point too, and she said that he said something about like "Merry Recession, everyone." Like, Jesus, whoa,
wow,
dark topical comedy. Don't see that in a theme park.
Yeah, they can be. I mean, they can get religious. They can get baudy at Knott's. That's the fun of Knott's.
Yeah. Less standards. Things can get wild. As bawdy as you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we learned at Camp Snoopy they have child-sized benches.
This is an amazing photo.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, because Jane ran to get something and just gestured and was like, "Take a seat on that bench," and didn't realize what it was. And I went, okay, man. And so I did, and it's... Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. She was owning my ass. She said it's a Jason-sized bench.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jane, for clarifying.
She wanted credit for that slam.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of empty space there, and I wish that Mike and I were there to join you, to sit down with you, and once we sat, you get launched. The weight launches you across Camp Snoopy.
Onto one of the rides, hopefully.
Face down in a balloon bucket.
And Woodstock's
caboose of a
hot air
train.
balloon. Or into a Snoopy show, maybe.
When Jason just has to go with it.
Right.
Yeah. There wasn't really a show, but rotating characters were on stage waving, and there was a lot of very cute Woodstocks, just extra Woodstocks, just everywhere, in scarves and earmuffs. And
was Spike anywhere to be found?
I didn't see a Spike.
Spike
he was still avoiding
Snoopy's drifter relative.
Yeah, and if anyone listened to our Peanuts episode, Jason and I tried multiple times when we were at Knott's to get a picture with Spike, and he kept avoiding us. It was really, it did feel personal, honestly.
I did find this great.
Spike doesn't like people.
I never noticed this rock work with Charlie Brown, Snoopy sleeping on his lap, which you rarely see, and then a brass Woodstock. I just thought that was really great. And then we I believe, Scott, you and Aaron got this too. This fun little bundt cake with an ice cream cone Christmas tree on top. Very, very fun.
Really fun.
Instagram
Took it all the way home to go, despite being very precarious and hard to hold. Then got home, took a bite into the icing, which was not edible, at least not by that point. The ornaments were
the
not.
lower half was good. The cake and the icing was good, but the cone was not great.
Yeah.
I figured out a way to rig it up. I asked for a large soda cup, and I covered it on the plates, and I had
smart. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
We're dangling that thing all the way back.
Hopefully they restart these events for Peanuts Festival and Peanut Celebration, Boysenberry Festival, kind of do tasting events like this, because the portions were huge. We ate 2 things, and we're what do we do with the rest of these tasting? We are just doing laps to walk off the food before we can eat any others.
Yeah, massive ice cream sandwiches. It was great. The food was great. Awesome beer, and again, as I said, you add the new parent thing to it. Oh my God, we are out. Baby's safe with grandma, and we are getting to enjoy a beer with a view of fake rocks. And they did turn the log flume on. We're watching water come out of it. It was so nice to see. It was the sweetest beer we've ever had, and not just because it was full of berry flavoring.
We shared a drink that was sparkling wine with a scoop of boysenberry ice cream in it, and it was the sweetest thing I've ever had, but it was pretty good.
Scott, I really think you need to, if you want to compete with Jason and I think you need to start getting your tolerance a little higher for sugar, okay? It was revealed last week?
Yeah.
You haven't had nearly the amount of sugar cereals we've had, and I just think
Not
maybe
at
it's
all.
you weren't trained on it as much as a youth, and I think maybe you should start every morning now taking a big spoonful of sugar and just getting your taste buds numb like ours are.
Well, I'm never going to give up wine, which has natural sugar to it. But what I need to do is just dump half a box of sugar into the one, mix it up, and then I will match the drinking taste of the rest of the show.
I think that's good, because then you'll be able to really experience all the treats. And then you should probably just start. Probably just have a little cup of Lucky Charms for every meal. Just a side, a little appetizer of Lucky Charms or Fruity Pebbles.
Well,
neither you had though, right? You said,
I'm just not sure. I've had Lucky Charms, but none of it on the regular, really. I think the big thing impeding me in the recent past has been that I am not a child and haven't been for a number of years, so that's in my way. But
this podcast you do would suggest otherwise. Huh. That's interesting.
That's fair. Look, I'm probably gonna have more of that stuff in the house with the baby, and maybe what I do is start like weaving it in. Like I still make myself like a nice salmon or something, but I bread it in Lucky Charms, a la Planet Hollywood. Since you don't get to go to those anymore, I'll bring Planet Hollywood to me. So yeah, this thing was great, and as clearly the victor over Disneyland, and I think like first of all, my thought to Disneyland is open up that whole park, get it all open, even if it is just like little stores and kiosks. I felt so much safer. Not that of course I felt safe at Buena Vista Street, but there was something about like, oh my God, the whole park is open at Knott's, so there's plenty of room for everybody, and they've capped the capacity. And I think for these remaining months, however many more there are, I hope it's not a ton, but there certainly will be some before these places are open again. I think we'll find ourselves in these weird in between. It's kind of open. And I think Disney has to take a page from the Knott's book. And they've done it before. Big Thunder Mountain is basically a dressed up Knott's ride. You can steal ideas from Knott's. Start doing it again. Because Knott's pulled it off. They did it better.
Well, yes, I think Disney, they were just like, we want it all or nothing. And then they sort of acquiesced at the end of the year, and it was too late. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Will Bob Iger join Joe Biden's cabinet, like I read today, as an ambassador? That's not a joke, by the way.
That's really? Wow.
Yeah, possible. That's possible. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a Chapek thing. If it's Iger, we'll see. Maybe that will happen for a couple months. It would be. It would be nice to go. They have those little vendor boxes for the food and wine at California
Yes,
Venture.
they should do food and wine. I think that'd be huge. They got those pieces already. And my other thought, and forgive me because this isn't so comedic, but I am curious if you guys agree. Okay, this weird time that hopefully will be limited, but before the theme parks are open, I do think that some limited, like I love that they started trying to do this stuff. And I'm at Knott's just realizing like, doing a big outdoor food thing makes so much sense. And it felt like I've passed by things on the street and seen with my own eyes stuff that shouldn't be happening. That is way more dangerous than what's happening at Knott's. So the whole, like, we're just not going to do theme parks at all. Basically, like, not thinking of theme parks as one thing. An amusement park is one type of thing, and that is all that it is. Doesn't make any sense to me, because a theme park is indoor space and outdoor space. It's restaurants, and it's outdoor rides, and it's indoor rides where you should, limit capacity or not do them at all for a while. But isn't there something to the governor looking at theme parks with a more nuanced eye and saying like, okay, so you can't run this, and this, and this, but you can do some of this and start getting people back to work? Because I like that Knott's thing. I just like, there was so much of it that felt perfectly safe to me, and will especially feel absolutely safe come May when people are starting to have the vaccine more and more.
Yeah, Todd Martin's wrote a very like thoughtful and like you're saying nuanced piece about going down, and he made it in, I think, to Carthay either on Thanksgiving or Black Friday, and I think similar feelings of like, it's nice to be near this stuff. It is a little melancholy, but to your point, I believe he referred to, you can think about these places as like outdoor sculpture gardens or large cultural, like pop culture centers, experiences, and yeah, I think that where the problem comes in is, I think Knott's is kind of a neighborhood park. It is a smaller park, and I think once there's stuff that has its fandoms, like a Disney, or if Universal was like, we're opening just the Harry Potter restaurant, like that would get slammed. So then you have to build the infrastructure for reservations or drawings of who gets in. And I think that's where the complications arise.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, look, if you're asking for my Fauci-like wisdom on this, and then from a man who reads his Reddit, it's like, first of all, the whole thing is confusing. This is going to get very boring very fast. The whole thing is confusing because everyone's fighting a different battle on different, like, playing fields, essentially. Like, probably everything should just be closed, except for grocery stores and hospitals.
Of course. That's what it should have been at the very beginning, absolutely, for a limited amount of time, and this shit would be over.
Right, and it should have been, and then at that point, masks until a vaccine, blah, 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 and spread, blah, 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 monitor everything. So then that's out the window. The government has, I mean, California is doing an okay job with unemployment, but the government has abandoned workers, essentially, now, which is fucking crazy. Now we're getting serious here. And I understand why people are like, I need to go back to work. Like, you're stranding me without money. So I'm sympathetic to that. But it's hard because it's like, if it's just purely like, if Disney opens, even with like only outdoor rides, which I do think would probably be mostly safe, if it's just Big Thunder, if it's just, I don't know, whatever other open air ride, Goofy's Sky School, for instance.
There's like two.
It's like, that all would be safe, but then now you have thousands of people coming in from other states. They have to stay somewhere, maybe. They are getting together in restaurant. Like, you are moving people around. So it's like, I do get the idea that, like, Disney is its own thing. It's not Knott's. People aren't traveling as much from out of state, especially to Knott's, just to eat a fun Christmas tree.
Right.
Which is fun, but...
Yeah.
So I get that idea, but then I'm also like, everything is screwed, and I don't know what to do.
I'm not. Yeah, you're right. I'm not saying do this tomorrow. God knows it's terrible and chaos. I'm talking about, like, in September, are we still going to be? And I don't know where things are going to be at in September, but, like, is it still just going to be unilaterally? There are no amusement park, anything of any kind. That's what I don't quite get. I feel like you have to start easing into the water a little bit.
Well, it depends. I mean, I also think that there was an argument to be made, like, maybe around now or the last couple months, where it was like, all the vaccines failed. They're all bad. And you go, well, are we going to do this for 6 years? Like, how long are we going to do this? Let's just, like, we can sort of collectively figure something out. But it does seem like, and I don't want to say jinx anything, but it does seem like we have 2 vaccines that work. We have a decent amount of them. There's also just a lot of people are going to get the disease, unfortunately. And it feels like you will have, you know, the spread will be going down by the spring. And by September, I would imagine a nice amount of America will have been vaccinated. And just by the natural nature of the cycle of these things, I do probably think that the transmission rate at that point will be so low that we'll probably be in some version of open again. I think. Yeah. This is my reading Reddit. This is my guess based on Reddit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which it is well informed. None of mine is. Don't quote me on it. If I'm way off the mark on anything I've said, I do not. Disclaimer, Scott Gairdner does not claim to be a scientist or know anything about anything.
This is a joke. This is a theme park podcast for jokes.
I don't think you are, but I mean, I think it's going to be a long time to rebuild, because the failure at local, state, and federal level of governance. I mean, someone on a podcast on like Chapter or something years ago said, like, you think the bare minimum function of a country is to keep its citizens alive. And 2020 has shown we are not a functioning state.
Right.
You know. And then on top of that, with all these mixed messages, then you have 300 million people living in, I don't know, 100 different million realities. Like, so no one can agree on a shared reality anymore.
Yeah.
Besides the American tradition of disdain for the poor.
Yeah. So I get where you're coming from, because just in a bubble, to use a phrase people have been using. In a bubble, that makes sense that, like, you could walk around outside and even get on a ride or two on outside, and it's probably going to be okay. But I'm not necessarily
saying it, by the way, because I want to do it. I mean, sure, but I don't want to do it till it's safe. It's just more like I don't know, just to like get the gears going again in the tiniest degree, and instill in a very modest way.
How about just Mickey's Fun Wheel opens in January? Open air, the cars aren't. Maybe one person per
one
car.
Party, one person, not even one party.
Yeah, not even party. One person.
One person. Okay.
Yeah,
apart. Yeah.
And so and the Florida situation is different. That's Florida is lawless.
International waters, a whole state that's international waters.
Yeah, I don't know.
Timeshare law.
Yeah, it's timeshare law in Florida.
Timeshare law. Yeah, and writ large, statewide,
and also there's some contact tracing, but I still feel like we don't have some crazy. We should have had some crazy contact tracing apparatus that would have really been able to track every single person eating inside a restaurant, going to Disney World, tracking all of them for a couple months and really determining hey, no one's gotten sick.
Right.
From doing that. There would have been information, because we're all still sort of grasping at I think this is good. And I don't know. I really don't know, but those are my thoughts. Those are my loose thoughts.
Sure.
The transition time for sure is gonna be insane.
Oh my god, it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be
we haven't prepared ourselves.
25 million people have the vaccine, and they'll be like, "I'm fine, I'm going," and then things will open.
Fine. Yeah.
And then you get bullied by other friends, "Let's go," and you're like, "Well, I only got one half of the Pfizer vaccine." They're like, "That's enough. You're young, and it provides some safety." They say it's gonna be bedlam, is what's gonna happen.
But yeah, I think for sure, whatever stimulus, God willing, passes needs to help the tourism industry. Less the Walt Disney Company, LLC or whatever, but and more the employees of said company.
Oh, yeah.
The people on the ground.
Well, and all the surrounding businesses and everything that do benefit from these places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hospitality and restaurants and...
Captain Kidd's been closed. Do we know?
We have to save Captain Kidd's. I don't know where they're at, but it can't be anywhere good. So if Captain Kidd is in peril, we got to rescue him. We got to be Captain Kidd's little buccaneers and get Captain Kidd that PPP loan. That's what modern day pirates need, is PPP loans.
Yeah.
That's their treasure. Yar, there be PPP loans up ahead.
Oh,
let's get into Magic Mountain. Let's.
Okay.
Yes. What?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we'll get into it on the Harbor Hoedown.
What? Let's discuss this off air. We'll discuss this off air.
Okay, we drove our cars through a theme park. We drove our cars into Six Flags. I assume Six Flags, they did a holiday light special, but I assume Six Flags thought of the idea because teenage boys are constantly driving cars into their theme park anyway. Their girlfriend who works there cheated on them. They drive into the theme park all angry. And this happens a couple times a week. And screeches to a halt in front of a roller coaster. Look, Linda, you cheated on me. What are you doing? With Brian.
I'm not moving this car until you get back together until you're in it.
I assume this happens constantly at Six Flags, so... they're like, yes, this is a good way to reopen.
Yeah, well, I should say, first off, we're talking about Six Flags Holiday in the Park drive-through experience. This was not my first time riding a sedan through the walkways of Six Flags, because I went to a construction tour once, and I must have been one of the later people there, because they were like, "Oh yeah, we already took the golf carts up." Someone's like, "Oh, well, I'll take them up. I'm going up there," and I just got in a Nissan Sentra with one of the media people, and he floored it through the park up to the construction site. So, this was definitely the slower speed experience of driving through Six Flags.
I love it. I want more experiences where you drive a vehicle through a Six Flags. It's the greatest thing. It's so funny.
It felt so silly making our way in. The three of us all in the same car together, we're laughing so hard. Boy, we were just laughing so much that we were spitting. Spittle was coming out of our mouths onto each other. It made us, oh man, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Us and our 10 friends in the back.
Yeah, we
all
rented
from different
a school,
households.
We rented a school bus.
Yeah.
But we
Drove a
only
school-
sat in the front. We all jammed together in the front just for peak camaraderie.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
This whole
It's
thing.
not true. Sorry.
It's not true. That was a joke.
Just to be clear, because things are
Yeah, serious. Yeah.
bits are. Don't want you thinking a bit is real. In this case, safety is involved.
Yes.
We each individually drove our sedans
We each
with our
drove a
partners.
school bus. We each drove a school bus through.
Would they let a school
With
bus
a-
through if you showed up in a school bus? Would there not be the clearance you need?
Depending on the Valencia team that worked there on that day, you might get an okay, an all clear. And
How
and have
stoned
sent you-
are they?
Yeah, they might send you right through. We went. Jason and I went on a press night, so they had the top people
Yes.
working.
And we got greeted with a phrase I love to hear. Okay, great. You're checked in. Here's your 3D glasses and your £1.50 of fudge.
Yes, we got a £1.50 of fudge on our way into this,
Man,
and boy, we were excited about it.
wow! Just texting each
Oh,
other like
Yes,
once at a stop.
fudge. I thought Jason made a joke on the text chain because he was there a little bit early, a couple of minutes earlier, and I thought he was joking. And then I went, oh, "What? We got a big, heavy. Really, I felt like it was 2.5 pounds. It was very heavy. Different kinds of fudge, like 4 different kinds. Jason, do you remember the flavors?
Yeah, it was chocolate. There was like a cookie dough one. There was candy cane and like a green peppermint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there might have been a rocky road and then a chocolate peanut butter.
Wow, I don't even remember, but they were
It's-
sweet as hell. They were good.
They were good, yeah.
Um,
And you can buy them. You can buy like some treats.
Yeah.
Coming or going from this.
I
Well,
will
is this
say-
open still?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is not only still open, it has been extended. I think it goes nightly through January 10th and then weekends through January 31st. But due to the drive-through nature, it is still open and you can do this. And I'll say this, $20 a head. Like this is a reasonable thing. You can do. And then you can add on if you want like hot chocolate or popcorn or like lanyards or fudge.
Yeah, you can buy fudge as an add-on. We, of course, are VIPs. We received complimentary fudge. So
Yes. Well, after the regard that we have shown Six Flags time and time again, we of course are given free things by them. It
that's
makes
of course
perfect sense.
correct.
Sure.
Hey, all press is good press. Six
All
Flags
press is
says.
good.
It says it under the sign when you go in.
What else about the sign when you go in, guys? What
Okay,
else did you
so-
notice about the sign?
Okay, so we're driving up to Valencia, and Six Flags Magic Mountain is in an odd spot. It's in the middle of nowhere, basically. There's like a Wendy's close by, and maybe a couple other restaurants. Maybe is there like a Fridays or something?
There's a Red Lobster.
Red Lobster's
We
what I'm
sat
thinking
and
of.
had like weird pink drinks and the cheddar biscuits one time.
That's right.
Had a great time.
So it's when you're driving up, it's in a weird spot. It's kind of desolate, and then during a pandemic when most of the park isn't open, a lot of the roller coasters are not illuminated,
Mhm.
which immediately, as I said earlier, struck a little fear, like a little terror, like like you kind of get a chill because it's creepy. And then we saw a lot of cars, obviously, a lot of people going to this, and the sign that says Six Flags, the S is out. The S is not illuminated, so now you just see it says X Flags. And could a Six Flags trip start in a better way?
I don't think so. It ended for me. It started with X Flags, and then there was another ominous warning as I was getting back on the freeway. And we'll get to that.
Are we sure that it isn't that it's not X, but Roman numeral IX, because they changed it to 9 flags?
I am not sure about that. That would be a fun, like a test market. They're trying it out around here. They're going to add more flags.
To people
More, 'cause
like
we know
him.
more flags, more fun.
Yeah, so why not
Yes.
in this trying year add more flags finally?
So the Six Flags people are sitting around a table and are like, okay, what should we do? Should we make the rides better? Should we?
It's expensive.
Expensive. Should we paint any of our buildings?
Painting is a pain in the butt. We
did it 8 years ago. Why would we need to paint a building? And they're like,
it's up so high, nobody sees it.
Oh, yeah, and it's like somebody's like, where is the paint even? I don't even know. Where would we find the paint? In a closet somewhere? And they're like,
threw it away. We put it in the river.
Yeah. So then they're like, well, what about more flags?
More flags? Do I have this correct? That the equation we use internally is more flags equal more fun.
Yeah. When they
There
figured
you
it
go.
out,
I
and
think
then
we
they
have
figured, then they figured out they could do this trick, so they could save on sign money.
And then we don't have to just turn off the S. Then it's 9, obviously. And then it'll be clear that more flags equal more fudge. Oh, I misspoke. I said fudge instead of fun. Wait a sec. More fudge is more fun.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
We're having a lot of fun, but I gotta say, I thought these light displays were nice.
Oh, yeah.
Overall.
Oh, completely. Yes. Yeah.
This is fun. At $20 a head, it's about an hour. I'd say doing the experience, they say it's 30 minutes, and then there's a little bit of a line to get in. You got to go around the parking lot. You go in through the employee, press and backstage entrance, which was cool.
There's a couple of fun things that I'd like to talk about. Now, early on, you see Mr. Six's bus.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. It's very exciting. I really liked that. I will say, and this is only because and Scott, you will answer this question, because Jason and I did not see something that we know existed there. Did you, Scott, see the Looney Tunes characters waving at you or anything?
I did not. Have they been doing that?
Okay, because I saw on Mice Chat, Dusty Sage, head of Mice Chat. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, Mice Chat is another website. They have a podcast. Doug Barnes from Season Pass does that. But Dusty Sage, who is the main man at Mice Chat, posted a video of the Looney Tunes waving at him as he drove by.
Wow.
And I got enraged because we did not see the Looney Tunes. And my sister did this on a different night, and she did not see the Looney Tunes either. I feel like there was a VIP theme park media tier that got to see the Looney Tunes or something, and we were shut out, and I think it's horseshit.
Gonna be a big wig like Dusty Sage. Household name Dusty Sage.
Right. Finally, we're talking about him on the show. Head of Mice Chat, a different theme park outlet.
I saw a different drive through the park that was Theme Park Insider did a drive-through, and there the characters were waving by the fountain. The Looney, I think it was Bugs and Sylvester were waving by the fountain towards the end, and I didn't see them there either. Also, I will say, if everyone is listening to this, the website Theme Park Insider are the ones who. They are the ones on the Mythos banner Best Restaurant, and they're currently doing voting for Best Restaurant in 2020. So if everyone listening could go to the Theme Park Insider website and vote for Mythos, then they will have to, and they win. If we can get it to win, then they'll have to make a new banner with another year on it, and that would just warm my heart.
Yeah.
So you want
Anyway,
Mythos
back to
to
Six
win
Flags.
again?
Yeah, we had a great meal. We had a great time at Mythos.
I know.
We
I
were
would
down
vote
there
for
last
them.
year.
Yes, it was very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So back to Six Flags. Anyway, I
Back
don't want
to
to take
Six
away.
Flags.
I did enjoy myself. We didn't see the Looney Tunes, and I feel like that would be the cherry on top to this whole experience.
Man.
Yes, the bus was a thrill. Friend of the show, Marissa Strickland, went, and she described seeing the bus as a celeb sighting. And I think the only thing that also could have made it better is if the man himself was there dancing.
Well, why? Right?
You know?
Why that one? Another one is an easy layup. I feel like.
Yeah.
Just having a Six Flags man dancing out there would have been
masked. You put him in a mask. That's an authority figure. Maybe you listen to him. He might have more authority than the people who are running for the presidency this year, especially because he is younger than both of them.
It's a very good point. So if they did this again, which I assume hopefully not in our lifetime, they'll have to do this again. But I do think maybe there could be a hybrid event like during Fright Nights where they like people are walking around and people are driving their cars. Just to make it a little more interesting.
There should be like derbies through this thing.
100%.
Rallies, whatever you want to call them. Hey, you saw another character, one of our favorite characters from the world of advertising, the Happy Honda Days Moral Oral. That's what I assume his name is. He's the claymation character who looks exactly like Adult Swim's Moral Oral. They just took the character and put it in Honda ads. He's the boy with no other characteristics, and he was inflatable and all along the car path several times.
Huh. I don't remember.
I didn't see that.
I don't remember that.
You know, there's the ads every year of a blue-shirted boy and other boys that he knows. I have no other descriptors for this, but it was the most prominent character, I feel. The most prominent IP at Six Flags at this time.
I do know who you're talking about, but I don't remember that on the tour.
Wow. Was it not there? Maybe they hadn't set him up yet.
Yeah,
the sponsors, the check hadn't cleared.
It's a very good question. We'll check. Maybe that was a late edition. I like plussing up. I'm not against it if they were like, you know what, we don't always have the Looney Tunes, but we'll have the little blue shirt boy. Because that's something, that's a character you like. That's a friendly face.
Yeah. We have to know that Happy Honda Days are ahead.
I think the most excitement I got for the first couple minutes was seeing an unlit Johnny Rockets. I got excited to see that because there was no lights on it whatsoever. Now, they did a pretty good job at this because this is a huge park. This park is massive. And there's some sections that are like really, really well lit. And then there's some sections that are kind of dead. So I got very excited when we get into a dead section with it, like the Johnny Rockets not being lit up.
Darkened food courts several times.
Because of that, post-apocalyptic. There were a few times when I was driving through that it almost felt like a haunt. Like early on, there was like some things where you're like, this is a little spooky.
We kept several times we said, what is this area? Is this like a service road that they opened up for this? This isn't like open to the guests. And then we'd see like a Coke sign and go, nope, this is a sidewalk. This is a place where guests go, even though it's full of like Peligro signs.
Yeah, I was thinking there would be something like that too, but no, I believe everything we were driving on is just regular guest walkway, which is pretty crazy. I will say,
yes,
I was hoping, just for the fun of it, that, like one of the cars would veer off the road onto the roller coaster track, or like there would be just like ducks crossing for like an hour and cars couldn't move. Like I was hoping for some more antics, but the cars moved in and out. It was almost like they planned to have all the Six Flags walkways like car accessible.
Yeah, oddly, because you couldn't do that in Disneyland. Probably there's a ton you couldn't drive through Fantasyland. I wouldn't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think with a smart car perhaps, but that's about it. So yeah, everything was smooth as far as the actual driving.
It was. I definitely imagined like, what if I just veered to the left and just crashed into that Dasani machine? What would happen?
That was the fun. Was fantasizing about how much you could wreck at Six Flags with your car while you were in there with while you were in your car. Like there would be a couple times. There was a part where they were playing later on. They were playing like a Dolly Parton Christmas song, which I found really nice. There was a lot of lights. It was really, you know what I'm talking about? It's like kind of later in the
might have been a different song with me, but
then I was like, oh, I was not thinking about Six Flags at that moment. I was thinking about the holidays and everything there. But then the rest of the time, I would be like, hey, there's the Hall of Justice. Could I get my car in the door of the Hall of Justice?
Start ramming robots.
Now that seems like a spot. Like, have Batman there, have Superman, masks on,
there you go.
Scarves on.
This is what I was. They had a stilt walker, one single guy, and he was great. He was talking to all of us, and he was doing bits with the cars and stuff in front of the Hall of Justice. But give me, and a Stilt Man is a character from the Marvel comics, so they couldn't have done Stilt Man, which it would be an easy character to use when a guy's on stilts. But Yeah, give us who has robot legs in the DC universe, Jason? Come on. Cyborg, I guess?
Who has Cyborg, I guess.
He's in the ride.
Yeah,
he has long legs now, and he's wearing a Jester's outfit. Just call him Cyborg. Hey, I'm Cyborg. I'm dressed up for the season.
I saw some original characters. Well, one I saw in person, and then the other I saw in video later on once you got to what is usually the Screampunk district is for the holidays is the Gleampunk district, and that's a lot of fun.
And the Gleampunk district was Jewish this year.
Yes.
It was all Hanukkah. It was Steampunk Hanukkah, which that is by far my favorite part of the whole thing. It was Steampunk Hanukkah.
Yeah, lots of menorah. There was like a copper pipe with like light bulbs on top menorah, and there was a big dreidel and a lot of beautiful blue lights.
There was like a copper steampunk menorah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an interesting choice.
I feel like I was like checking out at the end. I think maybe is why like that was in the latter half.
Yes,
and while I did like this a lot, there was a point where you just go, boy, it's been a while now. We have been driving slowly through Six Flags, and we didn't stop on the way, so I've just had my foot on the gas for for the whole drive there, and then through the thing. And one thing I will say about this, they close with Santa, which makes sense, and that's fun. But I think if they were to do this again, and I hope they don't have to for Christmas 2021, but like it didn't like build. I feel like the best lights probably were in Hall of Justice area, and then they didn't like go out with a bang. It was just like, and now more. Sometimes smaller and less, and now you're not in it anymore. I think it could climax a little better.
Whatever that dolly area was, I think is my favorite part. I think that had the most lights, and I think that part was really like felt special to me. And maybe you were checked out by that point, Scott. It was a little later in the experience because I kept going, "Oh, we're done." Like I did that drive-through experience at Halloween. And I remember going, oh, we must have like 20 more minutes. And then we turned a corner and we were out. And I went, huh? And then this one, I was like, oh, we're probably done. 7 minutes later, not done. Another 7 minutes. Oh, we're probably done.
Just like, good.
Which is good. You got you got a nice chunk. And I do remember, though, I was fading a little bit. And then we got to Gleampunk, Steampunk Hanukkah. And I did come to life again. And then I was making jokes like, where like the local dreidel works was, like they should have done more with that and had like steam powered dreidels spinning, and if they really wanted to go all the way with it. So
there was a man with gears on a top hat on a big tall bicycle that had gears on it, and he was yelling Happy Halloween, or not Happy Halloween. That would have been very funny if he was yelling Happy Halloween.
They messed it up.
But there was a lot of thematic touches in the Gleampunk district. But when I was watching the video back, I did not see the Stilt Man with candy cane legs and candy cane arms, who was yelling at cars, "Greetings from the candy cane realm." And I'm like, well, I wish you were in the rest of the park.
Whoa,
you nightmare, you walking nightmare.
Maybe that's maybe that's who we saw, and he just did not introduce himself from the candy cane realm? Because I would have remembered the candy cane realm.
What do you mean? Just everything's candy canes there? Like that's what they have instead of bones?
Maybe it's just limbs are candy canes. Everyone's limbs are candy canes.
Which is so easily shatterable. If there's war on the candy cane realm, you win that war, whoever you are. Or you just like kind of lightly smack into one of them and they shatter into a million pieces.
There's an X-Men character named Marrow who can take her own bones out and they'll grow back real quick, and she can use her own bones as weapons. So maybe it's like that, where you pull out your candy cane rib, you can stab someone with it, and then it'll grow right back.
They grow back and they do get sharp. Oh God, I'm counting out the candy cane realm. I thought this would be an easy fight. They got my number.
They should do that as a
throat. The sharpened candy cane arm.
They should do that as a Fright Fest maze. Candy cane.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot there. Yes, and do that. Yeah, during Halloween, you have a demented Christmas thing. That's really scary.
And they did a little of that at Halloween Horror Nights. They've done like a 12-month holiday thing with like evil Santa and stuff, I think. Or Santa was going to be just getting murdered. Maybe he was just getting murdered. I forget exactly what was happening to Santa. So
we'll do that here. They're turning Santa into a candy cane. He's in the process of being candy caned, and he's like half of his face is red and white now. It's like embalming a mummy.
And that's like the Knott's Maze wax works.
Oh, that's right. Turning people into wax figures while they're alive. Oh yeah, this is good. Can we write this for them?
Yeah, Knott's. I mean, we've been begging to do this for anyone for years. Yeah, so please.
I mean, Six Flags invented it. You got to do it. We'll give it to them. They've been good to us. They did a good holiday experience. We want to write Candy Cane Realm the Maze.
We should be in charge of everything at Six Flags. They should just hand us the keys to the we should have written this whole drive-through show, and I'm not being facetious. There's no reason not to have let us do this.
Give us a week and $10,000, and you wouldn't recognize the place.
Just give Jason a box of fudge, and he'll do it.
Yeah, I'll work for fudge.
2 pounds this time, please.
2 pounds.
Playing hardball.
Yeah, I'm playing hardball. I mean, I think everything you're saying is right there. Yeah, there's a long stretch where you go up around Tatsu and then down, and there were some stretches where like there was like winter, witches, or I don't know, people kind of on stilts in big outfits, and some musicians and some dancers. I was very excited to learn, though, because I remember when I went on the hottest day in like 2008, there was one of those mini Panda Expresses where like you only have 2 options. That licensing deal is done. It is now a restaurant called Chop Six. And I thought that was very funny. So high marks to Chop Six.
We did drive by the Full Throttle Bar, which is where Anthony Gio and I pre-gamed before the epic Fright Fest episode of Podcast The Ride. And I should see that, but it was not lit up. I was hoping for some sort of Christmas decoration there. Of course, Full Throttle Bar has one of the tiniest bathrooms I've ever seen, upstairs at least.
The tiniest bathroom in the world.
Mm-hmm. We'll look. I promise the audience we'll get back to Six Flags next year. I was joking already on the show and on Twitter, like, should I get the trial vaccine just to go to Fright Fest if it was open in October? And I didn't even have the option. It was not even possible.
Yeah.
So,
but here's what I'll say for opening back up. Imagine a commercial, people maybe hand unlocking the gate, flipping all the lights on, and then the person turns around and it's Mr. Six, and he goes, "We're back!" And he starts dancing. I mean, I think that in the new world,
you pitch
when
this
everything
on
opens back
the
up,
Mr. Six episode?
But I
it's haunting you every waking moment of your life. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm saying sometimes I don't remember what I pitched.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I'm just a fountain of great ideas. But I mean, I'm saying even if I did, it would have such a more magnificent impact, once it opens back up.
I'd love to see him open up everything that's been closed. Let's see him opening Disneyland up.
Yeah.
We're back at Disneyland.
Just restaurant brands, anything that hasn't been El Torito. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Red Lobster.
He's the mascot
Golden
of the
Corral.
reopening, and we all start dancing like him. We all put on our bow ties because we're going to value going out again, and we're going to look our best, put effort into our appearance like Mr. Six does.
Right. It's going to be a whole new world.
Yeah. Something to emulate. Does that cover the Six Flags experience?
So yeah, I just
it was funny.
Sorry,
it was weird.
Sorry we didn't drive our car off a cliff or something, or have more antics.
Yeah. Oh, my omen leaving Six Flags. So I when I left the park and got back on the main road, I knew there was an office building there that was like some sort of corporate office for Sunkist. But I couldn't see that sign from the angle I was coming from. Instead, I saw a new sign I had never seen before, and it was just a dark office building with an illuminated sign that just said Scorpion. And I was like, what in God's name is Scorpion? And like with everything dark around it, I was just like, what is this ominous? And I went to their website and I still don't know. It appears to be some sort of digital marketing concern. But it's just a lot of jargon on the website. But just in the pitch black night, a giant glowing white sign that just says Scorpion.
Oh my God, there's a scorpion outside Scott's window that just appeared.
Oh!
It's on the window. Scott, turn around.
It's a flock of them. That's what was cooing earlier.
Oh my God.
The famous
Jason,
caw of the scorpion.
They're
crawling on my window. I can't even see outside anymore. They've darkened the whole thing.
Unleash your scarabs to take care of the scorpions.
Out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Talima, or whatever he says. There they go. All right, they're going to fight out there for a while. I guess that's a sign of the apocalypse, just as everything we've experienced in these last few weeks has been. Look, we had fun at all of these things.
Yeah.
I think we got some smiles and some chuckles out of all of the socially distant things that we went to. But look, is this the note that we wanted to end 2020 on? I don't know that it is. How much how great would it have been if we'd been able to say, but then things were back to normal and we had our Manhattans and we all reconvened. We did an episode in person. All that would have been great. But it's not how it played out. It is hard to come up with a positive note to end 2020 on, but I thought that we had to try. We had to give it a college try. And that is why I have prepared a little scene. And this, I think, is maybe the way that we should go out of 2020. It's a scene of hope and positivity. I emailed it to you guys if you want to take a second, find it. It's a you guys haven't seen it before, so this will be a cold read. So it'll put your acting chops to the test, but I think you'll.
Okay, good.
I trust you. I believe in you. It'll also be a tech rehearsal on my part. So if there's some music cues dropped, it's not ready to face the public yet, maybe, but we'll just give it a go. So here's what I'm thinking here. Obviously, terrible year. And we could be pessimists about where the next year is going. We were earlier. We had that discussion about it's going to be this transition year and nobody will agree and will things really be ready? And, there's every reason to be pessimistic about 2021. Now, I don't think we could do that. We're good boys and we have to have good feelings about the next year. I think we have to be optimistic. And maybe we can imagine a 2021 that is like what the ultimate optimist would have imagined. Walt Disney. I believe that Walt Disney would have imagined a 2021 that's better, that's full of hope, and that is full of, as I pull up OQ, of 2021 that is full of progress.
Oh, wow.
Well, here we are, 2021, and things just keep getting better. Why, the economy's booming again, ever since Nancy Pelosi got everyone in America $600. Boy, that'll buy a lot of sarsaparilla. And now they want everybody to take this thing called a vaccine. It'll never work. Say, we got a new fella in the White House, Joe Biden. And that last fella, Donald Trump, he got sent straight to jail. We all watched it live on TV. On the way in, he slipped and fell right on his rump. Boy, little Michael and I sure got a kick out of it, didn't we?
Now, Scott, I'm signing in so we can watch Matrix 3.
Wait, Matrix 3? Are you sure?
Oh, Matrix 4. I'm sorry. I should have made the script bigger.
Oh, that's okay. You're behind that scrim over there. It's a little bit tough to see. Yeah, Matrix 4. I almost forgot. They got this thing now. HBO Max. It's a real hoot.
Sure is. The Warner Brothers stream all the best movies right to our home.
Yep, no need to get in the rat race and head all the way to the theater. I'm glad those things are gone.
I can't wait for Space Jam 2. It's got that new fella, LeBron James. My favorite brands, Nike and Xbox. And that Lola Bunny.
Now, Michael. Now, Michael, hang on there. You remember that talk we had about body content.
Sorry, Scott.
Boys will be boys. You know, there's so many great things about 2021. Trap music is the cat's meow. No celebrities we like have died. 1 billion people all deleted Zoom at the exact same time. And the best part is, we're hanging out with our friends again, in real life. Why, I've been seeing all my pals, except Uncle Jason. Haven't seen him since 2020. Haven't seen him since 2020, which he spent self-inoculating in a bathtub. Maybe I'll give him a call. Hello? Uncle Jason?
No privacy at all around this place.
Uncle Jason, you're still in the bathtub? The lockdown's been over for months.
They can lift restrictions, but they can't take away my privacy.
And you're cooling the room with a big block of ice? We've had air conditioning for 75 years.
Look, man, get off Uncle Jason's ass. Just leave me and my bath donut in privacy.
Sorry, Jason. Well, some things never change. But lucky for us, some things do. For the better. And this year is way better than the last, since the bar couldn't possibly be any lower.
Hey, Scott, what do you say we sing our song?
Sounds like the bee's knees. Jason? Jason, have you been bathing in milk this whole time?
Yeah, and dipping cookies into it too. Play the damn song.
All right, sounds good. Wait, let me just share the screen and then we go. Okay.
Just share the screen, Scott.
Just share the screen. Why did you delete this?
I'm doing it.
Why did you have to re-download it?
All right, look, we're not off Zoom yet. This is a play.
Shit.
Okay.
When you put it up, hold on at full screen so my lyrics go away.
Oh, shoot.
I'll pull it up on my phone. I got it.
If you
One thing that'll be better next year is coordinating en masse sing-alongs to end little plays. Okay, everybody. All right, fellas. Let's sing our song. Here we go. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. After the shitty year we've had. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Next year we assume we'll be less bad. Man eats a bat, and that's the start. Now everyone's been depressed since March. But when we achieve herd immunity, we can eat inside of a Chili's. So there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. All we need is for the year to change. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Just 2 weeks away. Wow, fellas. That was absolutely perfect. Really proved the value of the old Zoom machine. Maybe we shouldn't all delete the app.
No notes. It's like being right here with all of you.
It was as precise as robots would be. Boy, a beautiful show, great rehearsal. I'm sure we'll work out all the kinks when we do it for real.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, your hand
I feel
fell
more
off.
Positive, don't you?
Yes, I feel great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think we all do. It's going to be a great, big, beautiful 2021. You survived Podcast The Ride. You survived 2020. And congrats on doing it. More fun will be had next year. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we're not only doing the show in person, we are jamboreeing in person. That's the goal. And that's when you'll know that we succeeded, that the human race won, that this was our Independence Day.
Jason, will you learn to play the jug now in the next few months? Yes.
Yeah, if you can help me find one, I'm sure you can learn how to do anything on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's another guarantee for the next year. Jason is learning how to play a jug.
Do we think that it has to be learned?
I'm sure there's a craft to it.
There's a technique to it. It's maybe not the hardest instrument in the world, but I'm sure there are jug playing techniques that even I don't know about. a jug playing aficionado.
Should we then, in another one of these like year marking things, should Jason in an early episode in 2021 play a jug at his current level of skill, and then by the last episode of the year,
I will find him a jug online. I'll get it for Christmas for him, and then we'll see where you start, and then your jug playing is going to be so good by the time we jamboree. People will be very impressed at all the practice.
I like
silence.
I like it.
Just considering
it all in.
Thinking.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. What a tease for this new year.
Yeah, boy,
What a
jug
tease.
playing, and if it spittles all over us in the process, that'll be A-okay.
We welcome it in that instance.
We'll love it. We're all gonna swim in each other's spittle because we're so glad it's 2021.
More spittle, please.
More spittle and more subscriptions, please, to The Second Gate. Podcast The Ride, The Second Gate at patreon.com/podcast The Ride. Fun stuff there we've already recorded, and you're going to like it, and you're going to like the stuff we haven't done yet either. There's so much great stuff to come. Happy Honda days, everyone. And join us next week on The Second Gate for a little more stuff.
A little more stuff.
How does Oh Holy Night end?
Hear the angel's voice all night. Oh, there he is.
Oh Holy Night is coming.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Mike Carlson, Jason Sheridan, Scott Gairdner, Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram @ForeverDogTeam and liking our page on Facebook.